What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Tuesday, May 24th, 2022. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. I appreciate you all so much. I do apologize that the weeklies are going to come out a little bit later. It's been a very long weekend, long day. And yeah, you probably noticed that my last horoscope was just done from my cell phone in my parents' guest room. So, back in the office, back in the pilot's seat, I definitely want to show you the chart today because this Tuesday's, there's a lot going on. So, take a look at the day. Of course, we are in Gemini season, sun at 3 degrees of Gemini, lots of beliefs, but beliefs are getting amplified even more because, well, we got Mars. That's the big deal on this Tuesday, which is Mars Day. It's coming into its dignification of Aries and leaving Pisces. So that's going to happen at 4:17 p.m., 7:17 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. This is definitely lighting things up, especially at that zero Aries point. This day could be so interesting because it's so Gemini season. It could feel like twins, and also polar opposites, but also a lot of similarities. But it's amped up, and Jupiter's there. And the crazy part, too, is the Moon and Mars come in at, the exact same time. Moon first, but then Mars right after. So it's almost like this kind of numb, where are things going, kind of lost in the abyss kind of day, maybe just floating. And then all of a sudden the evening shows up tonight, and it's like there's anger. There could be, things could be mad, or the world could look upset. And I think that, we're going to have to look at a lot of the polarities in life. And I think it's the belief and coming back to your truth that is so important, and making sure that you have that subjective truth lined up so that you're not kind of getting, spelled into some other strong identification of whether it's a world belief or a family member or yourself, or friends, whatever it is. This is definitely intense, and it's cutting through things. And I think that Mars coming into Aries, especially because it's now building up on pretty much this whole week, actually. It's going to be in semi-square to Uranus. Jupiter's breaking off that semi-square, and Jupiter's going to come back and make this semi-square a couple times. But Mars is the activator. So where things are kind of already ramping up in the world, expect more information to come out. Expect things to get heated. This brings up war energy with Mars and Aries. This brings up a lot of aggression, and Jupiter's amplifying these things. So, we have to look at, also where we're getting triggered and where things are making us angry, and if it suits your truth, if it's part of a program that you're running. A lot, you're going to have to get really matter of fact about what's going on, and then about the story. So it's also Mars coming into the zero Aries is igniting the new story that Jupiter's trying to amplify in our lives. So where things could have started cutting away and things could have started leaving or dying off or whatever that full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio brought into your life, this is where, if it was hanging on by a thread, things are about to start really getting cut away. But it's really starting to show the direction of the world, where that looks like it's going. Expect a lot of information. The moon will finish off the evening with that sextile over to the sun in Gemini, and I think that you have to really be comfortable with who you are and your truth, and, pay attention to the information, and maybe this is where even truth can sway, because of information. So it's also just being comfortable in yourself enough and your intuition to know who you are, to know what resonates with you, what doesn't, but also not to be too stubborn, because this is bringing up a lot of ego energy with Mars and Aries. So, people can be really in their ego, and especially with Jupiter there and the sun at 3 degrees, it's very dogmatic, I'll be honest. And it definitely brings up, it's got explosive energy written all over this week. So, we got to look for a lot of, maybe it's information bomb drops, maybe it's actually bomb drops. I don't know. This is very explosive with Uranus at 15 and about to come to 16 degrees, but in that semi-square and with the moon and Mars, there's no, today's not messing around, especially coming into Tuesday evening. It can seem like things are fine, then we get into the evening, and especially with Mars at 29, finishing those final minutes of Pisces throughout the day, anything goes in the universe. Just when you think you have things figured out right now, something could show up in new information and bang, oh my gosh. So it's a time to open things up. It's a time to learn. It's a time to take in information. Mercury's retrograde and in Taurus, and it's trine Pluto. And just when you think you have it all figured out, Pluto's going to dig up something else in your life here. And especially when it comes to, society in Capricorn or the government, like a lot of world stuff. And I know you're already probably seeing like a lot of stuff that's coming out in the world. There's plenty more where that came from. We are just getting started. Gemini season just kicked off, and look at where things are. Like, this is going to be quick information, changes coming fast, and Mars is igniting all of the story that we're stepping into right now. So I would say that you have to be strong. Mars in Aries is going to give us courage and definition, and it's going to give us power. So there's definitely positives here. But, when it comes to the collective and dealing with people that maybe don't pay attention to astrology or the world or what projection of reality is getting thrown in your face, you got to make sure you're kind of in some ways digging your heels into what's really authentically you and the direction you're trying to go. And while at the same time being open to change, being open to information. So it's kind of walking a fine line. It's, we don't want to be dogmatic. We don't want to be so firm in our beliefs that we're not willing to start something new or go into a better direction for ourselves. But, you got to know what's true and what's not true. And, if you don't know, I would say that today's a good day to research something or do your own, looking and investigating. And with Mercury trine Pluto, it's a great time to investigate. And even on your own with a Mercury retrograde. Make sure that things line up with your values. And if things feel really, really off, find out why. Like, don't just take things at face value, I guess. Is kind of the moral of the story here. Venus is actually going to still be in that sextile with Saturn. I'd love to get the eraser up. All right, sweet. So Venus is like pulling off of that sextile to Saturn, but it is still very strong today. So, I think there is a firmness here, like with where your direction's trying to go and like really being the boss of your own individuality and, making decisions here about who's kind of part of the tribe, but also realizing that if you have to be, a tribe of one right now, especially with Mars coming into Aries, to get your personal life figured out and get your story lined up with where you're trying to go, by paying attention to information and diving deeper and looking at the hidden stuff, you're going to do just fine. And you're going to find that you have a lot of strength right now. But, there's also a part of this where, people can start to get really uptight and worried. And Chiron is in Aries too. And now at that 15-degree mark as well. So, Chiron here is like definitely testing our assertiveness and our willpower and, that defining energy. And it's like hard to step up right now. Look at it's not for a lot of people, but look at the world. Like, people are having a really hard time, like, with their own identity. So, this is cutting into the truth of your deepest identity and then being able to transform through it, shift perspective, learn more, dive deeper. There's a lot to unpack, but there's also a lot that you can pursue that is of value right now. And a lot of stories can change, and a lot of like can-do energy can show up in your life. But man, on a world scale, anything goes. This could be big news drops, things that people weren't expecting, just a plethora of information. And especially with the World Economic Forum going on right now, like, you're going to see more and more stuff from that coming out. Like, there's just going to be so much information out there. And, you're going to have to do your own research and find out what's up. That'll help you through it. But, wow. Get ready for the new story because Mars is activating it. And it's explosive for all of us. And that can be really good because it can definitely be that explosion that projects us into, orbit of where we're supposed to be right now. And it can almost feel like so much is getting cut away, but maybe that's actually the rocket ship you want to be on. And it's like, I think, Saturn in Aquarius, sextile Venus is like, you can really start to boss up for the disconnection portion of life that isn't serving the collective at a high level, that isn't serving your individual frequency at a high level, and really changing gears and moving quickly for what is gonna, kind of get the ball rolling in a big way for your trajectory, and paying attention to that as best you can, while simultaneously paying attention to what's going on in the world, because there's a lot of things that are going on. So, pay attention out there. And every day this week, Venus gets closer to the square to Pluto as well. So, this is going to be a big test on relationships, if they are built for the long term, if they're of both individuals' highest integrity, if they're, relationships that are not on people's missions are going to get blown up, because people are going to have to focus on their own personal life and their direction. And, it's going to be very obvious. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of big relationship stuff, whether it's with people in the news or in, your own life. Like, you're going to look out in the world and see like, oh, wow, there's a lot going, what's really going on behind the scenes in that relationship. Like, it looks like a lot of things are coming out here. So, if you're going through a big relationship moment right now, it's not going to stick if it isn't of a high integrity, if it doesn't fit like your true identity, and like being able to let go of that and look into the future and realize that there's so much more, out there, and there's some new direction here. And, we're all having to pivot in weird ways that are not necessarily comfortable, but, in the end, they're going to show us more value. Believing and exploring what that option, or what those options, or what all the different information can bring to your environment. But today is slippery, to say the least, in the beginning. That moon will also meet with Neptune today before we even get to this point. And Mars, it's amped up emotionally. It's very psychic, but it's also extremely sensitive, and it's angry. I'll be honest. Like, people are going to have an attitude. So you got to transmute that, but you also have to define your life right now. So if even if you're showing up with an attitude, it's like, check yourself and see why, get to the bottom of it, get to the truth of it. And then, do what you got to do. I think that we got to kind of watch our tempers, and because they could flare up in ways that we weren't expecting. And just realizing that can happen with people too, as a projection towards you. And, that's going to be up to you to decide if that's okay in your life, or if there has to be a boundary when it can feel like so much is coming in. That's like, oh my God. So it's a big one. It's a big one. I do hope you have a great day. I'm going to pull some cards, and I will be doing the weekly tomorrow afternoon live. So if you're free tomorrow afternoon, I don't know exactly what time I'm going to do it. I would guess around 4 or 5 p.m. But I'd love to have you here with me. I'm definitely going to show some things, and I know I call it the weekly astrology, but I kind of want to show you some of the future stuff too. Because I was doing a lot of thinking during my driving this weekend, and a lot of it is about the future and the present, and just a lot. Also, thank you all so much. This channel reached 2,000 subscribers this weekend. I haven't checked just now. Maybe someone dropped me and it's back down. But anyways, I did see 2,000 on there, and that's a huge milestone for my channel, and I'm so grateful for all of you. So thank you so much for tuning in. I know not all 2,000 people watch this channel every day, but there's like between 300 and 500 of you that do on any given day, and I'm so grateful that you're here with me, and I appreciate you. So thanks for sharing this space and supporting my astrology. And if you want to support it more, please do go to my website, www.fixedairmoon.com, and book a consultation with me, because there's a lot going on right now, and you might just, want a little spark to see what's actually going on in your life, and I would love to provide that for you. Anyways, enough plugs and thank yous. We got the 10 of Cups upright. It's kind of funny because maybe this is the exciting new story and kind of the kick in the butt that we need to like go towards happiness and the, ultimate sort of dream reality that we can have and like full fulfillment. But it's also like sifting through information and truth in our lives to get to that ultimate happy spot, to get to what we really want. So it's like honing in on what it is you're really trying to go after and define in your life, and then defining it. And I think today's an explosive for that kind of energy. And I love that card. It's like one of the best cards in the deck. Queen of Cups in reverse. It's just I think it's like a matter of will right now. You got to have will to have the things that you want and the happiness. And even if you're not seeing it, or you're getting a reflection of like some kind of anger or something today, like get back to your own throne of happiness and your own creative potential and move towards that, because that's going to bring the happiness. Like expecting other people to show up and bring your happiness probably isn't going to do it. Like you're going to have to turn that around and kind of put the ball in your court about what you really want. And Five of Swords, upright. Game over. So, play again? No. If the game's over and you don't want to play anymore, don't play. This is cutting away to a new story. So I think, realize that if things aren't working out and you're tired of playing a certain game, stop playing that game. Play a new game. Do something different. Like this is a time where there's going to be so many changes coming quick, that do something different for happiness, for better. Like you don't have to sit in situations that are just bringing you conflict or just making you angry, or having you want to throw your gaming console out the window, like, or throw it out the window because you're done. Either one. Like it honestly, this energy, like some gamer out there is throwing their remote through the TV. Like people are going to be testy. So, we got to work through that within ourselves, but you also want to use it too, because there's something about that anger that might be coming out right now that is purposeful. So it's figuring out how to use it constructively, or even, to destroy things to get better. And I think that's why that Ten of Cups came out, because there's better out there for you. You have to realize that, and there's going to be signs and everything. It's quick. Things are happening. So appreciate you all. Love you very much. Thank you. And I will see you for the weekly tomorrow, and I'll see you for the daily as well. Much love. Actually, I say tomorrow because I'm doing this Monday night, but Tuesday after this horoscope, I will be doing the weekly. And then I'll see you Wednesday for the horoscope. I'm out. Peace.